So here we are with our new type of podcast, which is going to be I think we're going to call it Uplift You.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And this is kind of a bit of where we have been looking at the way that we do things at UpliftHER, and we feel like actually maybe by introducing a topic of each month, we can go on a bit of a journey with everybody, whereby we also get to learn about the subject and do some more in-depth thought, but also think about our own careers and kind of really explore that kind of topic in more depth. And I think the topic that we have picked for October is marketing you and your career. And kind of from speaking to quite a few people, it's a pretty difficult situation that some people are in. Some people we know that we're aware that some people are potentially in tech and creative have gone through situations where they may have been lost jobs or actually kind of be in the process of changing jobs. But I think we also want to emphasize that marketing yourself is not just about finding your next job, but we did want to see what we could do to kind of help the community, but also about just opening yourself up for other opportunities and making sure that you've promoted and publicized yourself as well. So I think when we think about marketing yourself and your career, it is really about like marketers have used like obviously marketing techniques and tactics for years, but we're now in the era whereby actually we kind of have to do that as individuals, like kind of whether we are looking for a job or looking for an opportunity, or actually just taking control of our own careers and making sure that we've got like kind of we're steering our own path. I think I certainly feel like I wouldn't say my career was steered for me because that would be absolving my responsibility in it, and I'm very proud of kind of what I did. But I certainly feel like I was not being as active in it as I could have maybe done, and waiting for opportunities to kind of land like on my lap a little bit as well. I mean, I was proactive, but maybe not as much as I should have been. And I think that's the point. Like, nobody cares about your career as much as you do. So even if you have a great manager, even if you're working for a great company, you kind of need to know that actually it is about you taking ownership of that and making sure you're positioned in the best possible way.
Yeah, and consider opportunities that you can create for yourself. Like, is there a gap right now with your role that you think you can add to that, fill the gap, and start from there? But I
Yes.
think it's important to always offer a solution or offer your expertise in something that you think isn't there yet. So, yeah, that's one of the things that is helpful in your career journey.
I have been having a look at some quotes. I think that's a good place for us to start to kind of get a bit of inspiration. Found a quote by a guy called Yuval Noah Harari, and I hope that I've said that correct. Me with my dyslexic self, like, kind of may have interpreted that slightly differently. Um, but I think this resonated with me, which he said, in order to keep up with the world of 2050, you'll need to not merely invent new ideas and products, but above all, to reinvent yourself again and again. And I think certainly I feel with having left a company that I was at for quite a long time and gone through a process of trying to figure out what I was going to do next with my career, that sort of almost like really resonated with me, that actually we need to make quite a active and conscious decision about reinventing ourselves, particularly as technology changes, but also like things get thrown at you that you're not necessarily expecting either.
Yeah, it's making sure that you're always kind of peeking your head up consistently throughout your career. And just because you're at work and you're committed to your job and your role doesn't mean that you can't be talking to people outside of your job, going to events, networking. This is all very good for your career later on, and it's good for your communication skills as well, and developing them within the workplace. So, yeah, all very helpful.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I think over this month, when it comes to thinking about marketing yourself in your career, given that we don't just want to focus on people that are maybe out of work that are looking to get, we certainly want to help those people, but just thinking about how do we make ourselves more available and certainly positioned in a way. I think the areas that we're going to cover over the months are looking at things like creating CVs or resumes and how to do those in the best possible way. You've got things like applicant tracking systems, which most organizations now work with, and we need to consider how those systems receive information. So we can put so much work into producing a beautiful looking CV or resume, but actually, it's statistically a lot of them get chucked out just because the formatting isn't right. So we're going to have a look at that. Going to have a look at how we can use LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is still the main kind of tool that people use from a career perspective, and other social profiles, but predominantly LinkedIn, to make sure our profiles are positioned in a way that lead us hopefully to opportunities, or at least look like we're open to opportunities as well. And we have profiles that are searchable and like kind of engaging, and ultimately people will click on them. Again, this is not just about a recruiter finding you. This could be things like um, volunteering opportunities, it could be network opportunities, it could be, I don't know, other engagements as well. And I think we all want to look like we've positioned our profiles in the best possible way to do that. um, Thinking about our own presence and brand as well. So there is now kind of quite a lot around individual kind of brand. And there is another quote actually that I found that is by a guy called,
So Gary
um,
Vaynerchuk.
yes, that's the one. Do you want to share?
Yeah, so your personal brand is your reputation, and your reputation is perpetuity, is the foundation of your career.
So I think when Gary kind of came up with that quote, it's it really emphasizes the fact that like we all have a presence, particularly on social media, and we all want to be known for something. And actually, companies and the way that we engage with people now is really down to kind of individual brand. And so very much so now people want to know what you're about, and that can also lead to lots of different other opportunities as well. And so the closer we can get to understanding and improving our presence, but also kind of knowing what our individual brand is, the better that can be as well.
Yeah, it's how you come across to other people. And I think what really helps is being positive when things aren't going well. It's to remain positive, and always have a positive outlook. And also, it kind of trains your brain as well to always look for positivity in things.
Mm,
So I think that's really important message to consider when
definitely,
on LinkedIn.
definitely. um And then the last area we were going to look at is our identity with our careers as well. And I think that's quite an interesting one. We place, I think, a lot of emphasis on who we are as people, um, when it's associated with our job, and that can be really disruptive when we go through life changes, and like kind of we almost feel like our whole identity changes, whether that is leaving an organization, or whether it is having kids, or whether it's some other kind of experience. So that was our topic for Uplift You. This is kind of where Christina and I kind of pick a topic of the month, We kind of talk about our own experiences, but also kind of go on a bit of a learning journey with you, see what we can find, share kind of information. It means that we have a bit of a theme for the month. This month has been around marketing you and your career. We will be releasing lots of kind of content throughout the month, but as with kind of everything to do with UpliftHER, we are a community. So if you have any hints or tips or stuff that you've also discovered, please do share them with us. Please post them on kind of the group, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, we would pass them on to Christina and I as well.
Yeah, we love learning. It's so
We do.
important to be learning every single day. So if you don't think it's important, it could be important to others. So please just feel free to share with us. We're a welcoming community. We don't bite. So
We don't bite. And we're always learning. I think that's the thing.
yeah,
Like, kind of nobody has necessarily got it kind of sussed, and that's kind of partly
true.
why we're doing what we're doing. As you said, stay tuned, kind of, because at the end of the month, we will also be releasing a couple of career resources. So not just like kind of the regular posts that you see, and they will be around like how to do kind of a personal SWOT analysis, so looking at your strengths and weaknesses, how to kind of create the most effective CV so that it is works with the algorithms that all of the ATSs like kind of come up with. We've got some hints and tips from different recruiters and stuff like that as well. But also a big emphasis on like positioning your LinkedIn profile and how to build up kind of presence as well. So kind of you're seen and heard as well.